guess we'll just get into it.
I'm Darren McCarthy.
I'm Dan Fury.
And we're right on time.
Didn't even notice we were gone, did you?
Didn't miss a beat.
Nope.
Just a
punctual,
couple,
as always.
Couple beta males becoming alphas, making America great again. You know, I think that the winning formula to this is just the fact that we do it every week.
I think you're right.
You know,
I think
if you think
consistency is the key.
If you think about it, like, can you imagine 3 years ago today, and then flash forward to today, and we've done 20 plus episodes?
It's unbelievable. It truly is.
The productivity. I mean,
I'm pretty
it's
proud
like
of
an
us.
Amazon warehouse, just
churning them out.
You know, human drones picking orders, moving them.
The demand is there, and
we're filling
we provide.
We're cramming it
every time.
Yeah, the hole of demand is a mile wide, and we're just driving a steamer ship right down the gullet. You know,
that's right. Straight
through. Content.
Keep it going. Push it out.
What location is to real estate, like content is to podcasting, you know?
You are absolutely correct.
I know a little bit about a lot of stuff.
The key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
masters of none.
If you haven't caught on yet, just two voices coming at you.
Uh-huh.
Martin Wallace is on a secret mission.
There is a lack of a hefty presence.
Yeah. I wouldn't say hefty. I mean, powerful.
It is powerful.
Yeah. Palpable.
There is a weight.
Yeah.
To his presence.
But it's like the gravity of a dying sun.
That's
it's
right.
It's not like just weight. It's something that hits you deep in the soul.
You feel it.
Yeah, you feel it.
Very much feel it.
Yeah. So,
yeah, it's been a while.
We know.
Okay.
We know. And if any of you still have our podcast like on your phone, so it automatically downloads.
It just shows up
This
now.
is going to be a heck of a surprise. You know what happens to me every now and then? I don't know why or how this happens. Is because I listen to podcasts all day.
Yep.
There'll be a podcast that I've already listened to, and then that same episode comes back around like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
As if it's brand new. I'm like, oh, cool, another episode. And then I look at it and it's like, this is...
Depends on what application you're using. If it is like directly, constantly refreshing the feed and something changes in the feed, like they took down the file and re-uploaded it or something, you might see that. I see sometimes like 4 or 5 episodes from a long time ago all start downloading at once. What?
You know, actually, now that you mentioned that, there's another podcast I listened to that they wanted to make their back catalog available. So they just opened that up.
Oh.
But then it basically was like 300 episodes
flood
automatically downloaded because I automatically download the latest episode because it's once a week. It's like, oh, cool. Yeah, let's do it automatically.
Yeah.
And then I woke up and my phone, I had to go through and delete, cancel.
You can't even download them.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, my phone was like, come on, man.
What are you doing?
I'm an iPhone 5C.
There's no way.
There's no space in this.
This is not happening.
Yeah. I'm basically like the Dewey Decimal System of... I can't believe you even still have me. You were shocked when you saw my phone.
I was shocked that you still had it. I remember that it was a big upgrade for you at the time.
It's huge.
What, 2-3 years ago?
Could be. Definitely.
You're still rocking that thing. I don't recall the last time I'd seen
I think
a 5C.
It's from 2014. It is, yeah.
But even when that was the latest thing, it got cycled out very quickly. Like, all those people are on at least, an iPhone 6S or...
Well, I got this because the 6 had just come out.
Right.
And so this was just like, hey, you walked through the mall.
Yeah.
Here's a phone. Whatever.
Yeah.
Take it. We're just going to...
Nobody cares.
Use these for trap shooting later. So it's either with you or a landfill. What do you want, Captain Planet? I was like, yeah.
All right, I'll take it.
I'll take it. Because the other phone, my old phone, which had like the real keyboard.
Yeah.
But was not a BlackBerry. It was something else. Right. I was biking home from here, actually, on the bike that I got hit by a truck.
Oh, yeah.
On. That bike was cursed. And I was going, just under the speed of light coming down a hill. And
under.
I had the phone. It must have been in my pants pocket or maybe the pocket on my backpack or something. But long story short, it just popped out when I was going really fast. Yeah. And I kind of felt it go. and then you just hear that sickening thud of just something that you own that's full of technology
that is fucked up,
that is hitting the ground and then not stopping, just sliding.
Oh, it's scraping.
In your mind, you just think like, oh, that screen is just, just gone. And the phone still kind of worked, but
yeah, those older, just all plastic phones, they could take a beating. My mom still has a phone kind of like that. Mm-hmm. She's had for, 7-8 years.
Do you see that company that brought back the retro Nokia?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And it's only available in like a foreign country or something.
It's only available
for people that have like never had a cell phone.
2003.
Yeah.
You can only make phone calls to 2003. Yeah. But it's cool.
I think that's
fun. That's funny it's like, that moment when a song that hits you and brings you back to this moment when you were like 15, mm-hmm. and it's like that's like a smell. You just know exactly
puts you
where
right back
you were, who you were with, and the song comes on, and it's like you stop what you're doing.
Yep.
And then one day that song is on the oldies station.
Yeah. Whoa.
And it's weird that we have technology now that it still kind of is mind-boggling.
Mm-hmm.
That is now they have like the I Love the 80s version of that coming back.
I remember I had that Nokia. I forget the model number, but
I think it was like a 6810.
Could be. Yeah, you might have nailed it. That was the first phone that I had.
Someone look that up.
Yeah.
If that's real, that's great.
The first phone I had that could text message.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty amazing.
Do you want to hear my first cell phone story?
Of course I do.
Okay. The year 2000,
mm-hmm.
2001, living in Germany.
Yeah.
And I feel like, cell phones were like 3 years ahead at that point in Europe. Like people, like a lot of people started having them. Because I remember when we moved there, if you had a cell phone, like if you were in high school and had a cell phone, it was, like you guys win the lottery? What is
right?
What sort of Jetsons life are you living?
Yeah, Richie Rich over here.
But then, by the time I came back to the States in 2002, it was like everyone had them. Mm-hmm. But I just kind of felt like there was a couple year gap there. So when I moved to Germany, most of the kids I went to high school with had phones at that point. I did not.
Yeah. And
no plans to get one.
Yeah.
Mom and dad were kind of like, you don't know anyone. We just moved to a foreign country. You don't know anyone. You need a phone less than almost anyone on planet Earth. The only people you're going to call are us.
Yeah. It's a non-issue.
Anyone else you're going to call doesn't speak English. So it doesn't matter.
Forget about it.
It was, again, such a new technology. I was kind of like, it wasn't a part of my life. So it didn't matter at that point.
Those were the days.
Yeah, it was great. I'm trying to get back to that.
Yeah. I've done some things to really strip it down.
Yeah.
Which is a silly thing to think about. But anyway.
It's wild. So a lot of time, a lot of the phones then, it was just like you had a SIM card and just paid money to get minutes on there. And I was walking down the street and found a phone on the ground.
No way.
And I picked it up, it turned on. It was the same kind of phone, like the same brand. I think it might have been a Nokia.
Yeah.
That my dad had.
Nokias were
everywhere. Yeah. And this one was cool because it was kind of like, it was like gunmetal gray and a real light kind of brown. It wasn't like a flashy, shiny thing.
Right.
But it kind of looked like that's what James Bond had at the time.
He probably did.
You know what I mean?
Pierce Brosnan.
It was just a little bit different model. Because I remember like those old Nokias, they were all like the navy blue kind of color. Yeah. Or red. They had a red back or something. This one was a little bit different.
It was customizable.
Yeah.
So decals, I remember.
So I found this phone. We had a charger that it worked with at home. And then I bought a different SIM card, different number.
Yeah.
And then I just had a phone.
Boom.
That was my first cell phone. I think when we moved back to the States, I just kind of gave it to someone at school and said, here's a phone.
Here you go, bud.
There was no plan. It was just like, it calls people.
Yeah. I don't need it.
It's
a 3310.
3310. I got the 10.
It's a big one.
I mean, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I bet there was a 6810 too.
I'm sure there was.
I bet the 6810 was a cheaper, less powerful model, but they gave it a higher number.
Right. That's what they do.
You know what I mean?
They used to. I remember a couple of years ago, you remember this probably, I bought an old BlackBerry Bold.
I do remember that.
Because I was like, man.
You're giving me shit about an iPhone
I know.
5C.
But I had always wanted a BlackBerry.
In 2001, yeah.
Well, yeah, like 2005, 6, 7. I still thought it was pretty cool. And I really tried to just use that for a while. But the functionality of it, BlackBerry had they had BlackBerry Internet Service. You have to have that in order to use internet and messaging and stuff. It's very proprietary and just couldn't.
I feel like even Apple would struggle if you could only ever like access stuff through Apple.
Yeah.
Wouldn't really work. I mean, there's their stuff is fairly like it's all tied together.
Yeah.
And it works well together.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to have like Apple internet to.
And you don't have to pay you had to pay extra just to have BlackBerry internet service to use a BlackBerry.
When you had a BlackBerry, they still had BlackBerry internet service?
Yeah. I would have had to hook it up somehow to that in order to use certain functions of it.
How the hell does that still exist?
I don't know.
What server farm?
BlackBerry is still out there. They usually now make like Android phones.
There is the knight from the end of that Indiana Jones movie. That guy is guarding the last server farm for BlackBerry. He's 3,000 years old.
Yep.
Old Crusader knight.
Somebody out there's using it. I gotta keep it going.
They said they'd be right back.
Right.
He's all dusty. Yeah. I'm the last one.
I got my first cell phone. I was like 18. So I never had it in school, which I'm grateful for. It's like fucking 6-year-olds have cell phones now. But I was so stoked to have any version of a mobile internet, even though it was so basic.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
It's funny, we got a phone for the baby. He's taken to it pretty well. Yeah.
Is he tweeting yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got more followers than I do.
Yeah.
He's
got an Insta.
It's
Snapchat.
It's a little racy though. It's
baby chat.
Baby chat. Yeah. It's mostly just pictures of dogs or stop signs or basketballs.
Mobiles.
Yeah.
So when we last recorded, he was only like 4 months old.
When did we last record? I mean, it's been
almost last March.
It's a year?
A year ago.
That is fucking.
Isn't it?
So he was, he'd be 4 months old.
Yeah. So is it like they say, your heart just leaps out of your chest and starts walking around?
Yeah, I mean, I think that all of the stereotypes and cliches and, I mean, they're all...
Just wait, man.
Just wait, man. Your life's going to change. Yeah. You don't even know what love is.
Right.
You don't even know what love is. It is awesome.
Yeah.
And... I've thought about it a lot, and it's such an individual experience that like all of those cliches and things you hear, it's like, yeah, they're all totally true, but they'll be in varying degrees.
Sure.
For you and for your experience with the baby, and the babies are so different. That's another funny thing too. It's just comparing them to other babies.
Yeah.
Especially, I think probably especially with just your first, because you don't have
there's no
that
template
comparison. Yeah, but he's so fast now too. You like you literally leave the room, you come back, and you have to find him.
What?
How did he move that fast?
That's what I'm just not looking forward to. Is I think back of all the dumb shit that you do, like the worst things that you could possibly do to yourself as a human being, and you don't know.
Yeah.
So you're going to do it. I touched the stove when I was like 3 years old. I remember stapling my thumb. Just took a stapler, went boop, right in my thumb. I remember touching a razor blade. Just, I wonder. And just ripped right through, blood everywhere. Kids do some dumb shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did hold him. I was like holding him and just spun around in circles a bunch.
Mm.
Got dizzy, and probably like total brain damage.
Yeah.
But then I like just sat him down the floor, and he just tipped right over. Like, oh, sorry, buddy. Yeah. He just recently learned how to kiss, which is like too cute. And now he's learning how to blow kisses. So
lady killer.
Yeah, you're saying goodbye, and he's like blowing a kiss to you.
Nice.
It's really cute. The other night he was
Casanova.
I was putting him to bed and turn the lights off, and he's in his crib, and he's got a little stuffed animal in there. And so in the dark, I see him like kind of grab the stuffed animal. He's just kind of hugging it. He's just lying on his side hugging it, and then I just hear just kissing his little stuffed animal and like squeezing it to sleep.
Oh boy.
Oh, bud. Little man.
That's great.
He's really, really fun.
That's great.
He's funny too. Like I think he's starting to joke around a lot more too. And I'm sure it's, a universal thing. He just wants to make us smile.
Right.
Probably some survival instinct deep in there.
You like me, right?
You like me, right?
Keep me around?
Come on, bud. Hey.
I'm doing good?
Sure, I poop a lot, but come on.
So also the last time we were together, the very idea of a President Donald Trump still was pretty laughable.
Staggering.
Insane. Like, I mean, this is all fun, right? But
hey, we're having fun here, aren't we?
But there's no way this is really going to happen.
We're having a good time, aren't we, guys?
This is a good time, but we know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we see the Electoral College fail miserably, which is what our last episode was about.
Because our takeaway was like, it's a good thing. It kind of protects.
I mean, pretty much.
It's just like, well, you don't want the major population centers where people like typically think the same way deciding for everyone.
Control the whole thing.
If it's... But at the same time...
I saw such small, minuscule margins between them in some states. I was watching... Oh, that night was a nightmare. But I was watching these states that were literally split by like 10 or 20 votes.
Yeah,
how is that?
Seem possible,
that's
right?
not... And yet it happened, and it doesn't seem fair. And that she had like 3 million more votes than him.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Huge chasm between them.
1% of the total population. That's including people that can't vote.
Right.
That's including 1% of people like my son.
And half of people didn't vote, pretty much?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's
voter turnout was terrible. I think it was like 46% showed up.
And yet he still goes up there and says that he won in a landslide. And that even those votes, they were illegal voters anyway.
I guess, happily he's doing a great job. So,
I mean, I'm eating my words.
All of this is a moot point. I mean, he's
clearly, we were wrong.
He's showing us up. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, just,
left
and right.
So
positive.
That's the silver lining that he's doing. Probably it's like the best first three months.
Hey, I will admit when I am wrong.
Yeah, Donald Trump, great president.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
I can't even fake it.
Smartest person right now.
He's literally the smartest person ever.
No, I think Melania. She has not all right, so if you're married,
yeah, there's been nothing.
You're tied in kind of subtle ways, but very much like intrinsically you're tied to this other person.
Yeah.
And all marriages are, different, and some it's like the power couple, or it's two individuals, or whatever the combination or gradient is between that. You're married to the president.
Yep.
And you're married to Donald Trump. So even like in office or out of office, you're married to a big fat bag of dog meat, and
that's your life.
She's kept out of the limelight, which I kind of keep thinking that's crazy. That
it is, but what is she gonna do?
I'm just thinking
she can't help
him.
I don't think she can help.
No. I don't think she needs to do anything. I'm kind of like, good for you.
Yeah.
Stay out of this. Let this fat guy die, and then Did you see that picture of him going up like the steps to Air Force One and like the breeze blew his jacket and his butt looked like it was like an SNL prop.
No,
it was like
I don't think I did.
It was the Martin Short character,
Jiminy Glick.
Jiminy Glick. It was like a Jiminy Glick butt, but it was a real butt, and it was the president's butt. You kind of look at it like that's
the president's butt. I did see a picture.
It's a cartoon. Like you're a cartoon character.
I did see a picture, and I don't know if it's legit or not, but it's been going around quite a bit. He's playing golf, and it's his butt, and it looks like there's some sort of accident has happened, and there's some brownish hue around his butt.
Presidential poop.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just he's just a joke.
Yeah. And
he's bad enough. It's really truly the problem. The huge problem is the people that he has been putting in place. Completely opposite of what he said he was going to do. We're going to fight Wall Street, drain the swamp. He took all of those swamp motherfuckers and put them in his cabinet.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Have you seen Steve Bannon?
Yeah. That guy, he kind of constantly looks like he just got some bad medical news. Like he just walked in the other room and
he's,
like, how you doing, Steve? Fine.
I'm going to be okay.
I'm good. He's got that kind of smile of like, you know what? I'm going to get through it. I'm going to get through it.
Yeah.
With a smile on my face and a song in my heart. I'm going to get through it.
There's really not a whole lot we can say that hasn't been said, but it is
Let's
truly...
try.
But we could do our best. It is truly remarkable, though, that at that point a year ago, it was up until that night, it was a foregone conclusion that this has been crazy, but obviously...
Finally, it's over.
Yeah, she's gonna win.
Yeah.
As bad as anyone can say that she is, comparatively, not even close.
You know what's funny? I haven't thought about Hillary Clinton.
I know.
Since that night.
That's so strange how that happens.
One of my favorite podcasts, and certainly one of my favorite takes on Trump is Sam Harris's. He's great.
I need to start listening to that because I have listened to some of his stuff.
Yeah. Especially when he gets on Trump.
Yeah.
I think it's just an excellent take. It's not emotional.
Yeah. That's good.
It's not like
you don't really have to be. It's
not we were robbed. It's none of it. It's just this guy is exactly what he looks like.
Right.
He's a con man.
Yeah.
He's a liar. He's
full of shit.
Completely full of shit artist. But during the election, leading up to it, in one of the podcasts, he was talking about Trump, and there was one of the latest gaffes, at the time. Sam Harris says, given the choice between Donald Trump and randomly selecting an eligible American to be president, I would roll the dice.
Yeah.
Because, best case scenario, you get some polymath, triple PhD, scientist that is just going to be, all right, well, it's just, I guess if I have to do something that's less interesting than what I was doing, I'll be president,
Yeah, let's give this a shot.
Best case scenario, you got that. Worst case scenario, you have someone who is so odd, terrified, and just, paranoid about doing a bad job.
Yeah.
That they would seek actual help.
Yeah.
And go, raise their hand and kind of go, I need help.
Yeah, please.
Someone help me. Who knows?
What do I do?
Who knows how to do? I feel like I've thought about that, given that scenario, because I have family that supports Donald Trump, and
me too.
Family and friends, and I think not so many friends. I think it's kind of generational.
No, I have no friends.
I think it is more generational.
Yeah.
But even those family members that are Trump supporters, a lot of them, I'm like, you're smarter than him, right?
Right.
That's the weird thing. People think that he's like a secret genius who this is all
because he says he is.
but this is all kind of part of the plan.
Right.
This is all like a ruse or misdirection, or he's just playing this game. There is zero indication.
No, you can see right through him.
There's zero indication that he is somehow pulling the strings and he's a genius.
Right. He's constantly proving otherwise.
Yeah, every indication that he's just exactly as dumb as he sounds.
Yeah. And he was propped up. People would like, but he's a great businessman. He's a brilliant businessman.
He's not.
He's not even a good businessman. He's just
the figure. So he inherited several $100 million when his father passed. Like
something like that. Was it that much? I mean, but at first, like he was given money to start a business from his dad.
Yeah. If he had invested that into a low-cost index fund, like the S&P 500, like a index fund, or a total stock market index fund. So it's not a managed stock fund or anything. It's just basically like whatever the market does, give me a piece of that action.
Yeah, let it ride.
That's it. And if he had invested that $200 million when he inherited it, he'd be worth $12 billion today.
Whoa.
So he says, I've got $4 billion. It's like, well, you're $8 billion short.
Yeah.
Because you've just been fucking up.
But he's also gone.
Literally doing nothing is better than what you've done with your life.
He's claimed bankruptcy like what, 3 times?
Yeah. Which
it happens.
It doesn't necessarily mean like you're dumb, but it also.
It means you're not good at what you're doing.
Or maybe not even that you're not good, but like maybe you just take risks that
big time
aren't good.
Taj Mahal, isn't that completely failed?
That's gone. Yeah. But it's like,
but it's still sitting there.
You want to take risks, like you sure. It's a gamble, sure. I'm not that upset about like him going bankrupt at all, because it's his.
Well, I'm not upset about it, but
no, but I mean,
Trump him.
But I mean, to say that like he's a good or a bad businessman, right. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, that's you're trying to run a huge, even if his claims are inflated, it's still hundreds of millions of dollars that he's playing around with.
Yeah,
it's like it's high risk, but it's also potentially extremely high reward. It's America. Go ahead and do it. That's with his business,
right?
That's not with the country. So
Trump water,
Trump
like
steaks. Him going bankrupt and trying again. I'm like, great, I guess keep going. It's your money, or whoever's dumb enough to give you money to loan you money, sure. Right. But that same mentality doesn't apply.
It does not
to the government,
and that's what they were.
That's the scary.
People were trying to say, like, it does, but it really doesn't.
Yeah, because like if he stayed in business and went bankrupt 10 more times, like whatever. I wouldn't really necessarily think one way or the other. I'm like, yeah, he's probably just a gambler, and he's playing a high risk game. Unfortunately, now he's
losing for
nukes.
All of us.
He's got,
and he's pissing people off with nukes.
Yeah,
and the people that already disliked us to begin with, and now he's the talking head. Of our country.
Yeah,
it's big time, and it's only been. It feels like it's been so long. It's only been. What, 3 months since he was inaugurated?
Yeah, 3 months going on 30 years.
Yeah.
The flip side of this, and maybe you and I talked about this a little bit too, was shortly after he got elected, people were asking me, how do you feel, having a baby and having Donald Trump as the president? Are you afraid about your kid's future? Like, he could do a lot, but when it comes specifically down to like a single person, and especially, my son, no one on earth could fuck him up more than I can. Like, like it doesn't matter. It entirely matters how I act and treat Leo, and how my wife acts and treats him. That's like 99.9%. And then after that, it's, because we could live in like this utopian world where full of just nothing but opportunity and upside, and we could keep them locked in a trunk and half full of water. Like that's way more.
I think the question really about like the stuff that he's doing to set us back so far. It's so fast. Like defund the EPA, all of these things that he's talking about doing and putting Supreme Court nominees in place they can do things that will last a long time and they'll be there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
If this is the best that the Republican Party could do,
yeah,
I think that they are done for a long time.
Yeah.
Because in my heart of hearts, there's no way, A, that he could be reelected. Who's going to come along that could salvage what's been done? I think it's going to swing back.
If you had these thoughts, I think I'm not the first person to express them, but I think that it's funny, like thinking about the elections that I've kind of been a part of, you know, there was a time where I was appalled at the idea of a John McCain presidency.
Right.
Or a Mitt Romney presidency.
Exactly.
And right now,
please. Could you please? No former president supported him.
Right. Yeah, it's funny, just that perspective shift. At the time, John McCain was, you know, towing the party line, pretty extreme.
Yeah.
He was probably hyping up his own views, like he was, or, you know, ramping them up. So I have a feeling he was saying things he knew would set him apart more than he had any real conviction about.
Yeah.
But then you just flash forward 8 years, and he sounds just. And I think about it too. Just that if it had been 3 people running, and someone like John McCain was in the race,
oh yeah,
I may have voted for him even over Hillary, because she had to go extreme.
Yeah,
because Trump was going extreme,
big time.
And you know, I voted for Hillary
because
I see kind of an existential threat in Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And
yes,
kind of want to avoid that.
Yeah, big time.
But I also kind of feel I feel like I don't want to vote for extreme anything. Right. I'm not afraid of like a Republican president. I'm not afraid of a Democrat president. Whatever. I'm afraid of extreme.
Yeah, as long as the person.
And right now we have just an extreme buffoon.
Yeah, it was inconsiderate. If there was a man or a woman who seemed like a considerate person.
I think that in life there are like people that are way too selfish.
Yeah.
And they have blinders on. They don't realize that they're being extremely selfish. And then there are people who aren't selfish at all when it comes to their own best interest.
Right.
Like some people were all me. And then other people were like, fuck you, to the point of it hurts me.
Yeah.
You got to be in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean.
And he's definitely in a bubble of people are like, yeah, you're great. You're doing a great job and you're so smart. It's just unbelievable to him that people don't like him. Or
do you think that he does anything like a normal human during the day?
I really have no evidence of that.
Let's lighten it up a little bit here.
Okay.
Let's loosen the belt.
All right.
Okay. So I have a pretty standard routine, I guess. You know, I have a regular kind of schedule during the week, and he doesn't. No. You know, he's in a different place all the time. So already we're off into a different track here.
Yeah.
I can say with pretty solid certainty what time I'll be eating, what time I'll be going to bed, like where I'll be sleeping. I can kind of map that out. I could give you a really good bet of when I'll be doing this stuff.
Yep.
He can't. You know, I've also had like the hurried shit in a public bathroom in my life once or twice. Like that's his life. He's always he's always taking a shit in a different bathroom.
But that's when he's at Mar-a-Lago.
But think about that. He doesn't shit in the same bathroom 2 days in a row.
Does he not?
Maybe 4 days in a row, because he's always going somewhere.
Yeah.
Like his whole life is different than everyone on planet Earth, pretty much. Or, you know, most people that aren't just traveling all the time. Like that guy just is in a bubble that's moving around.
I just love all the contradictions.
Kind of a gross example, sorry.
I love all the contradictions too. Like and God bless Twitter, when Obama won, said that the Electoral College was a disaster And then that's the only reason that he's president. Without that, he wouldn't have won. And there's tons of tweets about giving Obama shit for going to play golf instead of being at the office.
Yeah.
And he's at Mar-a-Lago how many times now
in the last... Such a lame name.
I know, right? All of that stuff is so lame.
It's so lame.
All
it's
of
it. The American Psycho guidebook to style and...
Oh, yeah. He really does have like the 80s mentality of luxury and to be considered class. That has dictated his whole outlook on life. I've been to Trump Tower, and looks like it has not changed at all.
Yeah.
In 30 years.
My best friend in middle school, his family had a traveling carnival.
Wow.
It's a tough business. But I remember my friend's dad, I mean, he worked his ass off. I mean, especially in the summertime, weather's good. That's when they made a lot of money. Like their carnival would travel every single week to a different town. And his dad would work like 20-hour days. And I think he was going to do set up a lemonade stand or something. So he's building it. He's building a little wooden frame and everything. And his dad said, you need to get a couple car batteries and some lights and everything to draw. This is just a kid's lemonade stand.
Yeah.
And his dad said to him, you need the flash to get the cash. And this guy, I mean, looking back on it now, it's just borderline hustler, borderline businessman, kind of straddled that line and was trying to make a buck, in a tough business.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like, it's a microcosm of, or a smaller version of Trump, is he has this image, it's all flash to get the cash, but you just peel back the layer and it's a bunch of ex-cons running teacups.
Right. Yeah. That's good.
There's a bunch of people at Trump rallies still today.
Yeah.
People are behind Trump. That's the weird thing too.
They just don't get it. I mean, I have to respect everyone's.
No, we don't get it. Why they get it?
Well,
they.
Well, no, I think I can say I do understand what they heard, because I mean, I look at people close to me and I know them. I know why they wanted to believe what he was saying, but he is clearly not following any of that rhetoric. Like he's in many cases doing the opposite.
No, yeah, again, there's no indication he's ever done anything for anyone else.
Yeah. People were just severely underinformed. Whether that's ignorance or just lack of resources.
I think the Russian collusion and the fake news.
It's just going to get more and more obvious that was
that's
a
what
thing.
Caused it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fake
it's sad.
News, alternative facts. What is happening? Like what?
Yeah.
What?
It's so crazy.
We are seeing like a primo time in comedy because of all this.
Yeah.
Just endless material. It's
that's amazing. Kind of it's a funny barometer. It's like, what's the best time for comedy?
Yeah. The worst time ever. I don't know about you, man, but 2016, and this has kind of been, everybody's like, fuck this year. Like, it was the worst for so many reasons. Both large and grand in scope, and I don't know about you, but in my life and many close people, a lot of bad shit happened. I
have almost nothing but fond memories about 2016.
I was going to say, you were probably doing okay
it's
in your world.
Speaking of, recording a year ago.
Yeah.
I think that it was around that time that, when babies are teeny tiny newborns, it's kind of a 2-hour, every 2 hours, something happens.
Something's happening.
So it's either every 2 hours there's a diaper change, every 2 hours they have to eat,
right?
Every 2 hours they're snoozing, and that's give or take, it's the first 2 months,
right?
Of just life support. It's just don't die. Just don't ever die.
Life support.
And it's constant, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've expressed it before too. It's all things being equal, you know, barring some major medical complication or you know, I can't speak for every parent, but if you think about just your run-of-the-mill, relatively healthy baby that needs what would be considered like kind of normal care.
Yeah.
There's not really anything it's not rocket science. It's not extreme, you know, trigonometry and brain cancer while you're juggling with your feet.
Right.
There's nothing super difficult to do, but it is constant. It is always happening. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So like a diaper change takes 30 seconds. But when they're first born, you do it 10 times a day.
Right.
And it's 10 diapers. And some of those are at 2 a.m. And then the next one's at 4 a.m. The next one's at 6 a.m. The next one's at 8 a.m. The next one's at 10 a.m.
It's no wonder that I didn't see you for nearly a year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I remember saying this to my wife that even in those beginning, right around like 3 months, we were talking about just, oh man, so tired and there's just so much to do all the time. And I said, I think that we're going to blink and we'll think about this time with fond memories.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of think about that. I think that way about life. And I think that this is something that I don't know if it's a weird thing or a unique thing, but it's something that I've thought throughout my life, especially when times are tough or difficult or even boring.
Mm-hmm.
Not even something extreme. If I felt adrift, I can say to myself, take a mental snapshot of this moment and hold on to it and remember it and then revisit it when you don't feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done that a few times in the last year, but it's almost always been on a positive note remember this for a positive reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2016, it was kind of fun. Like that, the election, I didn't really have an emotional response about it. I definitely have some intellectual responses about it. And from a historical context, I think it's going to go down as
big time.
Kind of it's either going to be he'll be out of office in a year, and it's going to go, that was close, or it'll be 4 years of just national shame. And but we've had that before, and through the lens of history,
it's been a long time since I think we've seen so much response, so much visible, visceral response to something like this, where there are hundreds of thousands of people in the streets. This is when shit happens, and this is when you look back and say, this is when shit started to change, I guess.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
The brush fire. It's got to come through.
Yeah.
It's a cleansing thing, but it's a destructive thing at the same time.
It hurts.
It hurts. Yeah. But I think about that, like 2016 emotionally was really high.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad for you.
Yeah. So sorry, suckers.
Man, the next one is going to be so heavy.
It's going to be
so heavy.
Verizon presents the United States presidential election.
Oh, man.
Sponsored by Applebee's. Yeah. A simpler time.
Yes, indeed. It was always a simpler time.
Yeah.
This will be a simpler time someday. It's going to get even more insane.
Back to technology. I think that.
Yeah. Whoa.
3 years from now, when I still have my iPhone 5C.
I hope you do. I really do.
And you'll be telecommuting in your mind.
I want to say I would never allow that. There's just some things that
implants?
Just can't go there. Yeah, implants.
I don't know.
Actual androids. We got to draw the line somewhere. I already feel way too connected.
I don't think it's a choice, though.
There has to be a choice.
Yeah,
but I don't have to have a smartphone. I really don't.
There's opportunity costs to that, though.
There is.
That's a balance that you have to that every individual has to come to. But there's also the most Luddite person you know.
Yep.
Has some technology.
Oh yeah.
In their life. I mean, even if it's just a regular landline telephone, you know, like there's something in everyone's life.
That's so nuts that having a landline seems ridiculous at this point.
Here's the thing. So, talking about the baby, and maybe we talked about this podcast. I have no idea what we've talked about this podcast.
We've never talked about anything. Might as well.
Okay, we'll start over.
Yeah. Episode 0.
So, for sure, my baby will never hear a dial tone.
Not an actual one, like picking up a phone.
Like maybe as a gag in a movie.
Yes, exactly.
There'll
be a throwback to it, but yeah, not in practical life. Probably not.
Yeah, that scene in...
It's not going to be at a payphone.
That scene in Jurassic Park, I think the original one, she picks up the phone to try to call someone. Says it was worth a shot.
Yeah.
That's his whole life. I was picking up phones, there's no dial tone.
I keep trying. It was worth a shot.
He's going to pick up phones for the rest of his life, and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
That, he'll probably not drive a car.
Man.
16 years from now?
Yeah.
I mean...
You won't have to.
He won't have to. I mean, we won't be able to afford him not to be driving the hand-me-down car
right.
that we're going to give him, but...
Oh, man.
Sorry, bud. I can't keep up.
It's tough.
The latest and greatest.
The thing is, though, even not the latest, it's still pretty damn good. I mean, an iPhone 5C is still
fucking incredible,
worthwhile technology. You can do anything that I could do.
No, seriously,
it just looks a little better.
At the end of the day, it is 1,000 times more than I need.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Hey, if the BlackBerry worked the way that I wanted it to work, I would have kept using it.
My wife still has an iPhone 4S.
I look back fondly on the 4S. There's some quality about the photos that it took that's
fuzzy, out of focus.
No. Some of my favorite pictures that I've taken on an iPhone were from the 4S for some reason.
Almost like underexposed a little bit. A little darker.
I don't know what the quality was about it, but something about it worked.
Let's talk about the podcast a little bit.
This thing that we're doing.
So it'll be a little different.
Yeah, we're going to switch it up a little bit.
Martin is deep undercover.
Yes. He's doing something. What it is, we can't say.
Yeah.
He's just not here. He's not available. But you and I...
The less you know, the better.
The better for...
The safer.
Everyone.
Yeah. So you're on a need-to-know basis. And when he's available, he'll be available.
And he'll be here.
And until then...
guys,
I don't know what to tell you. But we felt like we wanted to keep going with the podcast, and we enjoy doing it, and it'll stick pretty close to the format as before.
Essentially
the same.
It'll change for us though, because we have a list, we have the grab bag of things, but Darren here is going to choose that without telling me.
Yeah.
And the next time we get together, I'll say, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
And he'll actually inform me about that.
And I'm going to ignore the list that we agreed on.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm going to go wild card.
He's going rogue.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Just make it good.
No, but we're going to keep Dan on his toes. I think that's more fun.
Yeah.
We're going to have fun. We're going to stay loose.
We're just going to loosen it up.
We're going to stay loose, have fun.
We don't want to be too loose. I don't know if you've ever read our iTunes reviews.
No.
But apparently, on the Apollo program episode, we were too loose to be factual.
But I feel like we've addressed this in other podcasts. That's the most drunk I've been since college. The fact that you understood the words at all, to have issue with them is incredible.
I thought you guys did fine. But then again, I rely on you to give actual information.
That's your fault.
Yeah.
No, but here's the other thing. It's called the fundamentals.
Yes.
Okay.
We have a disclaimer all the time. We're not experts.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't claim to be.
To be fair, though, I did say, because that was the second show that we recorded that night, I advised that we not do it that night, that we wait for that reason.
And then Martin Wallace and I were too drunk.
Fuck it. Let's do it.
Fuck it. We're here.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean,
pass me that daiquiri.
One person reviewed one show and put it on iTunes as a review of the entire podcast.
That's all right. I mean,
if he had all that information, what is he coming to us for?
Here's the thing. It doesn't. The whole point of this podcast to me is I want a reason to think about things and to research things that I'm interested in.
This is the genesis of the show.
Yeah. And that's kind of the end all be all for me.
Me too. We're curious.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Check stuff out.
The thrust capacity of like a Titan 5 versus a Titan 4 rocket. I don't remember. I don't remember anything about the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
About the Apollo program. Of like the actual nuts and bolts of the event.
Right.
Or events.
Several.
Or the Gemini missions.
Gemini.
I mean, yeah, it's Gemini. I remember that.
Yeah. Gemini.
I remember the fun stuff. The fundamental stuff.
We did have some fun.
No, that I think the takeaway I think for me from this podcast is I feel like I have a better appreciation and a better sense of the Apollo program. There's a lot of holes burned into my memory from alcohol, which is unfortunate, but that's like a personal problem.
Yeah.
And, I enjoy thinking and looking these things up. I hope that people enjoy listening.
Of course.
If you're a high school student, don't use this as like notes for a paper you're writing.
No. This really is for people like us that, I mean, we all generally know a little bit about a lot of stuff and we have access to pretty much anything.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff we just take on face value that we just take for granted.
Yeah.
But maybe you're curious about what that actually is. Things like Scientology.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's pretty curious about that now.
Things you never heard of, like Carl Tanzler.
Exactly. I love that episode. I love that we went there.
Yeah.
And actually, what was it? This American Life finally touched on that in a very recent episode.
Do you ever get the sense that people are listening to our podcast and just...
I mean, I know they're not, but I do get that sense because...
timing-wise...
Things, yeah.
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 Coming for you, Ira.
Yeah, bud.
Coming.
But yeah, son of a bitch, we're back.
God damn it.
I'm excited. I
missed it a lot.
I missed it so much.
And it's one of those things, too, that just time goes by.
Yeah.
And you kind of go there's a hole in my heart. And I don't know what it is. But apart from like the hole in my heart.
The literal.
Yeah. Apart from like the emotional vacuum that is my inside.
Yeah.
What is this? What is this feeling,
Yeah, that's exactly why we're here, regardless. People got to do what they got to do.
Yeah.
Maybe they have missions to accomplish. We do too.
We do too.
All right.
We could even do it with a baby.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, he'll be involved.
Yeah.
He'll insist on it.
We'll just give him a microphone that's not on.
He'll eat that. We could just say that that's Martin.
We found
Martin.
We found our surrogate.
Yeah. Martin got kicked in the head by a horse. And here's his contribution. It's just him going, not.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Yeah, Martin's fine with that.
Yeah, totally.
Martin, you're my baby now.
You're my little baby.
Martin, you're my baby.
My baby boy. Point is, we're going to make it work. And we'll be back soon. Here we go.
Do we have anything else to cover?
I mean,
this is a super informal.
Year.
Yeah, this is a super informal kind of.
We're just getting back into it,
I was working on my pull-ups for a while there.
Ooh.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's great.
I think
all of it.
Get everything. Get it all.
Going.
Get it done.
Get all of that stuff.
Get it V'd up. Can you pull your body over that bar? Sure can.
Go for it.
I can do it 7.5 times.
That was such an embarrassing thing to have to try to do.
Gym class?
Yeah, in front of everyone.
Yeah.
And if you can't do it,
Ay. Can I graduate already and get out of here?
We gotta wrap this up.
Yeah.
This is horrible.
It's going to be a long teenage career.
Did you have to climb the rope like to the top of the goddamn ceiling?
I didn't have to, but I did.
You did?
Yeah.
That is one of the most reckless things that looking back at it, I could
like
imagine.
30 feet in the air, yeah.
What the fuck?
And you think, too, that at that point, you're under 5 feet tall, so it's like 6 times your height.
There had to have been kids that fell to their deaths. There had to have been.
Yeah, it's called the 50s.
But this was 1991.
Yeah, we used to climb like the whole way up. We had like, those 3/4 inch pads at the bottom of the rope.
It's not going to save your life.
In the area. Yeah, if you fell, and
break your fucking face.
Your foot gets kind of tangled and you hit head first and your neck snaps. Yeah.
Man, that is. Do they do that anymore? I feel like they just can't.
No,
I haven't seen that in a long time.
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question because
that was horrifying. They don't even have monkey bars anymore because those are so dangerous. I mean, not like there used to be much more elaborate. They've definitely scaled it back.
The ones at the park by us, there's some twists and turns in there.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember they took out the merry-go-round in our playground because people will get clocked in the head.
There's one of those up in Tabor Park, still up there.
I got clocked at a Burger King.
Yeah.
I was like 3, maybe 4 years old at a birthday party. And I'm just, for some reason, I'm not on the merry-go-round. I'm like next to it. And I just get close enough. And the handlebar got me right in the noggin, knocked me the fuck out.
You get it to the hospital.
I did.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's incredibly unsafe. And that was just life.
I got kicked in the head because I walked in from a swing set, and it was ill-timed. And I just turned and saw feet
in your face.
And it hit me in the forehead, and I had Nike backwards in my forehead.
No.
Yeah, we went to like McDonald's afterwards to stop me from crying. And the woman at the drive-thru was like, "Did it say Nike on your forehead?" Like, what did it say? What is Ekin? What is Ekin? It's Nike backwards.
Yeah. Got kicked in the face, lady.
Got kicked in the forehead by a kid.
Give me my Happy Meal.
I want my nuggets.
Please.
Post haste.
Madam. Oh, boy. Anyway. Oh, man. This has been fun.
It's a little different without Martin.
Sure is.
We'll have to find our way.
Yeah. Just like every Scientology center that has an office waiting for L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah.
We will have a chair and a microphone here for Martin Wallace.
We love you.
We certainly love you so very much.
And I'm Darren McCarthy.
And I'm Dan Fury.